Hello and welcome to episode 3 of the Unproblematic podcast. Today we've got a little special thing because Digestives, also known as Sauna, has got a little special thing to say. So I'll just get right into it. I'm joined by Sarah Braj. All right, he's not going to say anything. Right, there it is. Junaid,
Hello.
Suleiman.
Hello.
I know is our recorder man, but he's also here. And of course, Sauna. So do you want to say your thing, Sauna?
Yeah, I just wanted to take a moment to talk about the Indian protests going on right now. There's a lot of disinformation going on about it, about how it's a lot about, it's about nationalists who want to, take over India, and and the Indian government, who's essentially become fascist now, is making it out to be about religion when it's really not. It's just about poor farmers trying to take back a lot of the stuff that the government's taking away from them, the protection that they provided for them at some point is now being wiped away, and they're not happy about it. That's why they're protesting. And the Indian government, Narendra Modi especially, has misconstrued that to the rest of the world and made it seem like it's about minorities who are wanting to get rid of Hindus in the country when it's really not. And I just want to make that clear that if you really want to understand what's going on here, you've got to actually get into the specifics of it and avoid a lot of the misinformation that's out there, because there's a lot of it. That's essentially it.
All right, there you have it. I would say if you can, definitely support the protests happening over there. Like, I'm sure there's charities available for that and stuff. Because, it's a good cause. I definitely, if you can, help about that. I want to talk about, we've always got that little main thing before we get into the main topic. I want to talk about how we're going to wage war with two specific podcasts. And those two are, because when we started, we didn't realize that the name Unproblematic had already been taken. So there's already a podcast called Unproblematic Podcast out there. And it's about book reading. I haven't really looked at it properly. So what's your thoughts on that?
Oh, boring, man. Boring.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You guys think we're going to beat them soon?
I'd rather watch films.
I feel like we are already in the lead.
Whoa, that's
Oh, definitely. All right.
I think our one will be more fun because we talk about basically what everyone's too afraid to talk about a lot of the time.
Yeah. We've got nothing to lose.
You know what I'll do? I actually don't mind listening to podcasts. I'll listen to a few of theirs and then I'll come back to you guys later on.
Our inside man.
Yeah, because I actually want to know what they do.
Yeah,
in their description they had feminism in it, so we're going to talk about
it. Let's not make it. Yeah, that's a future episode and a half. But let's not make it. Let's not make it too much about a competition. We're basically just doing this for fun, right? So
no, we're waging war.
Right.
We want to give our knowledge to people.
Oh yes, I said two, by the way, because there's another one, and I'm pretty sure the audience won't know about it unless they're from the school. But the other one is the podcast that we all know, we all love, Honest Hour. We're waging war with them too.
Apparently it's not.
But we can't wage war with our own
No. We cannot. We only have to be the best. That's it. It's
We
Honest
can-
Hour for 25 minutes. It's a scam. You won't get that one on Problematic.
Yeah, right, fine. Let's get into the topic at hand, though. Come on.
What the topic was?
Yeah. The topic today is fear. And by the way, in fear, I also count ghost stories and scary stories. So if you've got any of those.
I had some some UFO stories from a while ago, but
No.
We'll start with phobias. So do you guys want to start down the list? Sort of, what phobias do you have?
I have trypanophobia.
Which is?
It's a fear of medical sharp objects.
As in syringes.
Yeah.
Injections.
But it's just injections. Like, I don't mind a knife or a blade or something. I'd rather something cut my skin than actually an injection.
I'm not scared of injections, but I don't like getting them.
Well, yeah, of course, but I have some unnatural fear against them.
You do injections all the time when you do heroin.
All right, fine.
Yeah, that's the anti-drug. That's the best way to be anti-drug.
Yeah.
Well, so would you rather get a virus or get the vaccine for it? What horror would you take?
Certainly the vaccine, right? Of course, you got to think about it in the long run. But I've got an unnatural fear towards it.
Do you scream whenever you see a needle?
No, but I'm getting ready to punch someone. So
I can just imagine them having to tie you down or something.
yeah, last time there were like 4 doctors that had to hold me.
Ooh.
Yeah. I was getting manic for some reason. I don't know why.
Do you have
Yeah.
a what about you, Freddie Mercury?
Homophobia.
What
Oh
was
my
that?
God.
I'm joking. No,
Homophobia, you said.
I'm joking. I'm joking.
Guys, let's use real names by the way, not Freddie Mercury. Sarah Braj.
Sarah Rod, right.
Be a bit
It's just
ironic
habit
to
now.
be homophobic. It'd be a bit
Yeah.
ironic
Yeah.
if I was homophobic.
You'd be scared of your
Honestly,
own
I don't
kind.
know. Yeah. I don't like spiders. They look creepy, but at the
Same.
same time they fascinate me. I blame Junaid for one time freaking me out about spiders.
I'll tell that
Man,
story.
yeah, there was a
Yeah,
video.
let's tell that story in a bit though. Let's get through everyone's
All right.
fears, innit?
Hankyo, you wanna? Oh, I shouldn't say proper name, shouldn't I? Junaid, you got anything scary? Okay, good. Okay.
Was it the
mine-
was it the grade 8 under A story?
Huh?
Yep.
Was it the grade?
Oh.
Okay, so
It was.
basically, there's a video on YouTube by one of my favorite YouTubers. He basically done a video on why phobias are stupid. Like saying, like, for example, you have arachnophobia. He said, "Why do you have to bring up a long name for it? Why don't you just call it? Oh, I've got a fear of spiders."
Yeah, that's
And
true.
That's stupid.
And he
Because-
showed a picture of a spider, and that's what scared Sarah Broj.
No,
But there's
it's
a
not.
difference
It's not
between-
that. It was someone spider in someone's mouth.
Oh,
And it was
Oh,
a
that's
jump scare.
disgusting.
Oh yeah, I've seen that.
I chucked
Ooh.
my phone. My dad was like, "What the hell is happening, man?" I was like, "I saw a spider." I was like, "You little girl."
It was a proper big one.
Junaid, do you have any fears? Do you have any phobias?
yeah, I have one. I have one. Well, I have two, but I have one fear and I have one phobia.
What is it?
If that makes sense, because I've
Mm.
actually tried finding it, but the second one it doesn't come under a phobia.
What is it though?
Okay, so my phobia is I have astrophobia, which is a fear of thunder and lightning. It's mainly thunder.
Isn't that bronchophobia or something?
That's
Or is
astro.
that something else?
It's astro. I keep
Oh,
calling
right,
it astro.
right.
And
Right.
I also have a fear of slipping on wet surfaces, like especially next to a swimming pool.
Yeah, that's
Ooh.
fair enough though. That's
Wet
fair
floor
enough.
sign.
Given
I
your
don't like that.
yeah, that is fair enough actually.
Yeah, I guess it makes sense. Do you have
Ibrahim,
like?
do you have-
Oh yeah, that would be an after thing. But for me, I'm surprised this hasn't been brought up yet. First of all, yeah, I'm arachnophobic. That's obvious. Actually,
Man,
little
you're such
bugs
a
and all
girl,
those kinds of things
honestly.
scare me. Little bugs just scare me. I don't even know why. Whenever I see one, I'm just like,
How?
get the vacuum cleaner out, get it quick.
It's just
Hurry.
the spider though. Like, how's
Surprising
that
thing.
frightening?
What do you mean, just a spider? Like it's just
As
a
long-
needle.
alright,
What about that?
All right, no. Listen, if there's a spider in the corner of the room, would that scare you?
Not really. If it's coming towards me, then I'm gonna
Yeah.
then I'm gonna stomp on it.
That would scare anyone though. No one wants a spider on them.
But not really. I mean, you see the people with spiders in their mouths.
Yeah, but those people have been trained.
was-
Those spiders have been trained, and the people have been trained. They're basically there. It's like when people have pet lions. Yeah, I'm not going to be next to a lion, but when someone's been trained with them and been with them their whole life, then it's not that scary anymore,
Yeah,
is
but
it?
the lion's still gonna bite your hand off if you're not careful with it. I feel like even if
Yeah,
the
but
most
fear
training in
goes
the world,
away.
you'd still be
Fear goes
scared of
away,
it.
innit?
I don't know. It's because fears are considered irrational. Like it doesn't really matter. Like you can know something is scary. Like you can be at the top of a building and know, okay, I am not gonna fall off, but still be scared. It kind of just works like that.
That is the difference between phobia and fear, though, isn't it? Phobia
Yeah.
is irrational. Fear is just reasonable. Actually, having a fear of something is actually reasonable.
Yeah, that's true.
So,
Honestly,
do you have any
the other
fears?
one is I'm surprised this hasn't been brought up yet, but I'm actually scared of failure and embarrassment. Those two are my biggest ones. Failure and
So-
embarrassment. I swear
So
to
you're
God.
shy. So you
Nah,
Not
yeah,
only that,
yeah.
it's just I won't
In, like,
try new
dreams and
things
stuff,
because I might fail. That's kind of how it works, really.
Right.
I was surprised it hasn't
Solomon,
been
have
brought
you got any phobias, by the way?
Who?
Yeah,
Oh.
me.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I don't know if it's called a fear, but I'm scared of heights. I have a proper
Oh,
fear
there
of
is.
heights, like proper.
Right.
What, are you
Do
scared you're going to fall off, or are you scared of actually being at that height?
No, I'm scared I might fall, like especially roller coasters. And like even like when I was even though I know I'm safe, I still think I'm gonna fall.
Yeah, I hate
Oh,
roller
yeah.
coasters.
Do you ever get? Does anyone get this?
Roller
By the way, when
coasters
you're
are boring.
I like roller coasters, man.
They're boring.
Roller
But
coasters
They're not
suck.
scary enough. They're not scary enough, man.
nah, there are some
Give it back.
scary ones. Have
No,
you been in
they're
Oblivion?
car crash simulators, and I know as soon as I
Car
step on
crash.
it, it's gonna fall apart.
I've been on the Smiler and Oblivion.
Oh, Oblivion. That was the best one, but the only problem was it was so short. Like, come on. Man.
Yeah, yeah. But I went on
Long
it like
that.
4 times. I went on it like
Yeah,
straight away.
same.
I had the
It was like,
fast
come
track.
on. Yeah,
You
But
know,
have-
as a kid, I was scared of the teacups.
yeah, that
they're
explains a
spinning
lot
really
about you,
fast.
Ibrahim, to be fair.
yeah.
Yeah, no, I was shook at the teacup. I don't even want to go near them when my dad was spinning them and stuff. It was weird.
Do you guys ever get that, like when you're on something really tall and there's like a part of you that says, "What would happen if I jumped?"
Oh, all the time. I said,
You know that's called.
Had a
it's
parachute
actually,
on
the way
jump.
you say it makes it sound like you're suicidal or
No,
something.
you're not though. You're just like, I really want to do it for some reason, not because I want to die. You just want to do it, innit?
Yeah, if I have a
If I had a
parachute, then
parachute,
maybe I'll
yeah.
consider it.
That's actually
I'll jump off.
it's actually a term for that. You know, it's called the call of the void.
Oh, what?
The call of the void. It's when you look at when you're really high or there's like a really big hole and you just want to jump into it. There's like a small voice in your
Ooh.
head that says, "What would happen if I just jumped?"
That sounds like a cult name. Call of
I
the
know.
Void.
What happens
I
if
know,
you play
it's
too
such
much
a mad
Assassin's
name.
Creed?
Do you ever get that,
Play too much
Solomon?
Assassin's Creed, that's what happens.
Solomon. Oh, he's gone.
Yeah. I think if there were no consequences, I would have jumped. If that is a thing that I want to do, I'd jump.
No, I would never do that. Why would I jump?
He's
Yeah,
scared
but
of
do you-
heights.
do you-
You're asking if he wants to
Solomon,
jump.
do you get that though?
Yeah.
That feeling that I
Like,
just want a tiny. I
no,
want to jump.
I no.
You
I
never
feel I
get
wanna
that.
fall. No, never.
Do you feel wobbly when you go up top heights, like dizzy?
Yeah, proper. I'm
Yeah.
proper.
See,
Alright,
I
guys.
get dizzy as well sometimes, but it's not because I'm scared. I just like it's just kind of amazing. I don't know why.
It's just
Yeah.
fear.
What was the topic list, by the way, for today, Ibrahim?
So phobias, we're talking about how we would use fear to control people. So we're going into how we would be dictators, and then
Alright.
ghost stories and scary stories. And I've also written fear therapy here, but I don't know what we're going to talk about on that. We'll get to it. And if we don't fill the time limit, then I've got some questions we can ask as well that aren't related to the topic, but just to fill the time. But I want to ask, usually when it comes to phobias, it's because of some childhood thing or some kind of experience. Do any of your fears correlate to that?
No, not really.
No.
Really?
yeah,
Because for me,
sort-
failure and embarrassment is just I
It's
failed
sort
and
of-
embarrassed a lot, so it just scares me now.
Yeah, go,
Oh, okay.
Junaid. Junaid, when are you gonna? Alright, fine.
Well, he's gone. All right, there we go. That's the story.
That was a brilliant story, Junaid.
Well done. Well,
Uh,
what story were you gonna tell, Salad? Was that the one?
Oh, yeah, the one Junaid said. That
Oh,
spider
okay, cool.
in the mouth.
Oh, right.
That was scary, man. There's also another one. Like it was in my parents' room, and there was this massive spider at the side of the wall, and I like
Ooh.
literally jumped out the room. And I told my mom and dad that there's one massive spider in the room. I have to get the Hoover just to get rid of it. Like,
Have you ever
literally,
seen
massive.
Yeah.
Sarabaj, have you ever seen a proper house spider?
Which ones are those ones?
Right, so you know, a lot of people think house spiders are the ones with really long legs that just chill in the corner forever.
Yeah, I'm thinking
Yeah.
about
Those
are
aren't
the
house spiders.
phobias.
They're just a species of daddy long legs. Real house spiders
Yeah,
are
I was
like
thinking-
they're hairy and they're quite big.
Ooh,
well, like
good thing we
size
live in
of
the
my
UK.
hand, like,
Yeah, they
smaller
live in the
than a
UK.
hand.
Oh
They're
shit!
called-
Smaller than
they're
my
called-
hand.
Yeah, they're like the size of a two. No, they're a bit bigger than that. They're like the size of. I don't know what you would how you would describe it, but they're significantly big.
I think
Right.
I've experienced one
Like
of those. It was
smaller
on
than
top of
my
my
hand.
staircase.
Yeah,
it was just
but their natural
Yeah.
habitat's actually a house.
Yeah, I think that was a house spider then, because that was massive.
You know they're
Honestly,
the
that's one of the biggest spiders I've ever seen in my life.
you know they're the second fastest spiders in the world.
They literally jumped out off
Yeah.
the wall. My mom tried to get in a tissue, getting it. They literally
No,
jumped
you
off the
can't
wall.
get those with tissues. Are you dumb?
with
Those ones, bro, they'll take
she's
you
not
with a
scared of-
tissue before you take it with a tissue. fam.
She's not really scared of spiders, but when it jumps, bloody hell, man.
Yeah, man. You think it's going after you, even though it won't.
Yeah, man.
You can't even if you take them out though, they will die outside.
Would they? Like, what do they
Yeah,
feed on?
'cause their natural habitat is actually houses. That's their natural habitat.
But surely they would just get a new one.
No, they would
Okay.
die outside before they found a new one.
That's weird
After
because
hearing about,
Yeah, I
after
found it
hearing
weird
about the
too.
wondering.
The thing with
After hearing
spiders is,
about
don't
that
they
one
eat like flies and stuff? And you don't even get those many
I
in the house
actually,
compared to outside.
yeah, gone.
after hearing about that wandering spider, you know,
The
it
Brazilian
bites
wandering
you.
spider.
Yeah, that one. After
That's
it
the
bites
most.
you, after
Yeah,
it
that's
bites
the
you,
most venomous
that's
spider in the
just
world, isn't it?
yeah, that's just disturbing, man.
You know,
What
it
a
gives
way
you
to
like
go.
a horribly
Wicked.
painful erection
Lovely, man.
for like 3 hours.
That's
But
what happens if you wank off.
I once saw a house spider attack like a daddy long legs. It was so crazy. It just walked up to it and just basically crushed it with its mouth. But it didn't even eat it. It just left it there and walked off. It's
Have you guys
violation.
seen,
That.
Showing its dominance. Showing its dominance.
have you guys seen
Spiders being racist to themselves.
Yeah, go
No,
ahead,
I don't
Janae.
like you. You're a
have
daddy
you guys
long
seen people putting spiders into ant the ant homes and then like just see the ants just ripping the spider apart?
Yeah,
Oh,
I
yeah.
would watch that. I would watch that.
Some people
That's
call it
quality
animal cruelty.
entertainment right there.
Look, in my opinion, when a spider dies in a house, it's their fault because they've stepped into the human's domain. They're not allowed in this
Yeah,
habitat.
but it's not nice,
Yeah,
innit? You
but
just
they
got
don't know.
Yeah,
I don't give a
exactly.
fuck.
They don't know. Anyway, let's get on to
You think when you see like someone's spider brethren go in and never come back, they'd be like, okay, yeah, maybe I shouldn't go in there.
what was the next topic, Ibrahim?
Fear to control people. So
Yeah, I
if
think we
you
should
were
get
a
on.
dictator, what kind of clever things would you do using fear to control people and stuff like that? That kind of stuff. Evil dictators. So no,
Solomon, what
would you want to
use?
be a dictator that's feared or loved? First of all,
Be loved would be better, won't it? Because then
Love,
there's
because
less of
then,
a chance
yeah.
of anyone doing something behind your back. Then they probably
Because
plot to kill you for your
if
fear.
you're a dictator that that's fair, you will get overthrown. People won't like you if you do with
Nah,
love.
I'd be smart though. I would use fear, but in a way that people think that I'm loved.
yeah.
So basically, religion.
Execute. Oh, here we go.
No, it'd be a mad way. It'd basically be like, oh, God has appointed me as king, so technically, whatever I do is God's thing, and God loves all of you. Therefore, I can be as cruel as I want, but you technically all still have to love me. Otherwise,
I
you'll
mean,
all
that
go
is
to
how
hell.
people believed in history. Like, oh,
They-
God appoints the next leader.
That's the smart rulers, man. They know what they're doing. They're basically
Exactly.
invoking an imaginary friend, just applying it to everyone.
I remember reading somewhere that if you wanted, and in history, if you wanted someone to be the next dictator, like way back in like the past, you would just dress them up in some really cool clothing and then make them come out of a cave or something, and then everyone would be like, "Oh my God, where did he get the cool clothing from?" And then you just be like, "Oh yeah, God gave it to him because he wants him to be the next leader." I don't remember what time that's from. I think it's from the Inca times, but that I read
Said
something
that-
like that.
Yeah,
so
go
you
ahead.
know the Tudor times. I'm
Yeah.
not sure what king or queen they believe that I'm not sure what king they say they were chosen by God. I can't remember which one it is, but that people thought that person was chosen by God, like what Sean had said.
Yeah, because it says so in like the Bible, isn't it? That whoever's ruler at the time has been ordained by God. So technically, if you're disobeying them, you're disobeying God.
It says that in the Bible.
Yeah. It says it in the Old Testament, I think.
Damn, I didn't even know that.
Yeah,
It's
but
not-
I
I'm not
think
even
the Bible
Christian,
was a
but-
bit too. What's it called? It was being a
Old.
bit too. No. I think it was being a bit too naive about how rulers can be.
Superstitious.
You just be like, oh, because everyone thinks, oh, we're on God's side because their leader, even if their leader does something atrocious, because they think, oh, God picked them anyway.
Yeah.
And it makes
Exactly.
you think when leaders fight between themselves, if God appointed them all, what was he thinking? Like, it's obviously not how that works.
It's just God having fun, really. Just wants
we're
playing
impeding
bit.
on our special episode, mate.
Yeah, no. This time we're looking at like just the ruler side. We're not even getting into the nitty gritty.
That's the
Yeah, I can
beautiful
just
stuff.
imagine God and his angels betting on which ruler's gonna win, like with like chips and stuff up in heaven.
I watched a skit on Family Guy. Where basically Peter's in an elevator with God, right?
Oh
And
no.
Peter's asking him questions, and Peter says, "Do atheists go to hell?" When he says no, and then he said, "What if people who say they're not religious but are spiritual?" And then God says, "Yeah, right down to hell,
No,
right
yeah,
into
I've
the
seen that.
basement of hell."
But he's like good. I've seen so
Good,
many
I'm
like
happy
different
about
things for that.
That made me laugh so much, actually. That made me laugh. Anyway, guys.
I bet like 90% of people find that offensive or something. Some stupid
Yeah, 'cause
number.
I'm spiritual, but I don't believe it. What kind of rubbish is that? That is rubbish.
That's not even
I'm
what.
sorry. What's the point? You basically do believe in a god then? Like, come on. Oh, I believe in a higher power. What is that rubbish? That is God. What else is that then?
The king.
An alien species? What? Like, come
no,
on.
it brings the queen. Come on, the
Please.
queen.
The queen. Yeah,
Another
the queen.
episode, yeah.
Yeah,
Another
definitely.
episode. Let's get back on track.
Oh yeah, that's another episode. Sulaman's right. That's another episode.
I'll put it on the list of episodes.
Yeah, that's a brilliant episode. But
See,
so
what I would do with fear is I would, number one, I'd distribute harsh punishments like execution, but bad execution. I remember seeing like they had this method where they'd get rats and they'd put it on your chest and then they'd heat up
Gosh.
they'd get a bucket of them and then they'd heat up the back of the bucket so they'd start clawing into you to like
that is
see.
so crazy.
It's
isn't it?
awful.
It's crazy.
That stuff like that is what a cruel dictator would use to, I think, monitor his people. I think we'd make some pretty ruthless
I still
dictators.
think hung, drawn, and quarters is the worst one though.
Yeah.
I mean, the thing is, after you get hung, like,
No, you're not dead though.
yeah, you get taken off at the end, but
They
It's like-
hang you right until you're gonna die. Then they pull you around the street on horse, right? And then they basically latch you to those machines that pull your limbs. Like
Yeah.
really, they latch you onto there. Then they slit open your stomach and pull out your intestines while you're still alive.
yeah, they show
How-
you your heart. When you're, like,
What kind of
that's
sick
disgusting.
individual came up with that? Who
History.
thought? I know. You know what? This is a good idea. Like, come on, let's apply this to people.
I mean, it worked. There was less treason when that happened.
It's
That's
basically a
horrible.
deterrent. It's basically like a deterrent.
Yeah,
What are you? Yeah, but like, have some humanity. You know what I mean?
there's no morals behind it.
Where is this? Come on, like,
I guess people
gosh.
think that if you're gonna do that crime, you deserve no mercy, and that's like how they talk themselves into doing it. But even then, like, I think one of the most famous cases is Guy Fawkes. But what he did, which is
Oh,
quite
yeah.
smart, is when he was being hung, he jumped off so his neck broke, so he didn't have to go through any of the other stuff.
Yeah,
So he-
that is smart. That is smart.
Yeah, it's smart. It's smart. I feel like everyone else would try and like find a way to get away, but obviously you're not getting away from that unless
There was
everyone's
one
being
case-
stupid.
There was one case where a guy was going to get hung, but the rope kept snapping like over and over again, and so basically, like it happened like 4 times, and so eventually the courts decided that God doesn't want this guy to die, so they're going to let him go for free.
There was another one like that, but instead, like the hatch they opened to make them fall down, that didn't open. Like it kept getting jammed. So
That is mad, Basically, dumb luck saves your life. That's so
imagine
crazy.
that though, like how stressful that must be for the person. They don't die, but like you're going to go hang another day, and you don't know if it's going to save you that time.
Mm.
It's really scary. It's just I don't know. Like there's been plenty of cases. It's not even just hanging. Like other, like I think it was electric chair as well. Someone survived that. Or some other ones. There was a bunch of ones that people just survived. But it's so scary, just being in that position because you're like that they're not just gonna let you off. Like everyone else, like you think they just let you off, but no, they do it again. And that's just kind of inhumane. We're kind of branching from the main topic, but I like when we branch. But it actually, because
does
it
anyone-
gives it a bit more casual feel.
Yeah. Does anyone have thalassophobia, by the way?
What's
It's like
that?
the fear of the ocean.
No.
No,
Really.
the ocean is
Really?
undiscovered completely, but no one's scared of it.
Solomon,
Like
do you have a fear of the
No.
ocean? Then?
No, I said no.
Wait, if I had a question, I'll have a question, right? Would you rather be in be in a spaceship and go to space, right?
Mhm.
Or be in like a undersea drone or something and go down to the bottom of the ocean?
Honestly,
Space is way more
honestly,
cool.
But I don't know.
Even
That's
if
a
the
good
thing
question.
was destined to
wanna go-
crash, I'd rather die in space than at the bottom of the ocean.
Exactly.
That's just such a
That's
badass way to die.
That's such a good point actually to make.
I don't know. There's something more peaceful about dying in space than dying at the bottom of the ocean. The ocean is too scary.
Even though if you're
The
dying in
bottom,
space, it'd be pretty
Space
gruesome.
is just as scary.
No,
Space
yeah,
is just
space.
as scary. No one.
No.
can really
There's something extra special about the ocean. There's something about it for me anyway.
Space is really interesting because at one end it's so fascinating and beautiful, and on the other end it's terrifying.
Yeah.
It's great. Because I mean, even if you were gonna die in space, at least you'd get to see something really cool before you died. Like
Yeah.
you get to see the Earth at least or something. I think that'd be worth it alone.
Does anyone have any supernatural stories, by the way?
Yeah, that's coming. That's next.
Yeah, because I want to get onto that. We have some mad stories.
Scary stories in general are fine too.
Yeah, I have some. Man, next episode's about aliens, right?
Yep.
Yeah, I have like UFOs stories. So many of them. It's actually mad.
Yeah. My dad said he saw a UFO one time.
Yeah,
And he said like 2 fighter jets came after it.
that's
So,
crazy.
yeah.
That's crazy. So what else is there to talk about then about Theo?
I know a pretty interesting story that might be supernatural.
Right.
Have you guys heard of the? I don't know how to pronounce this, but it's like the Dyatlov Pass incident.
Oh yeah.
So
Yeah,
basically, for the
what is
audience
it?
who don't
I
know,
have that.
basically these kids they went on this like expedition, and this probably like a very very small like explanation, but they went on this like school expedition, and
there were like
then
six of them, right?
there was like 6 of them, yeah, and then they died, but like obviously they died, and then when they went to find the bodies, there were like some really interesting things. Like you'd think they would have died from hypothermia or something, but there were like 6 that had died from hypothermia, and then some had been killed by like physical trauma, some had like skull damage and like severe trauma, and it was like because a lot of these things it was unexplainable how these things happened.
Yeah, one of the women had basically walked away from the campsite while taking off her clothes,
Oh, yeah.
right?
Mhm.
Until she's completely naked, and then she's just on the floor and her
Yeah,
tongue
so
and
like
eyes are missing.
surely no one would
Oh,
like
That's
there has to be
what?
some kind
How?
of
Well, how?
like there are people who were like, oh yeah, they panicked because there was some kind of situation happening or there was an avalanche, but it doesn't explain the eyes and tongue being missing, so there's always that supernatural.
I think it's pretty explainable though,
Go
personally.
on.
Like taking off clothes
Jeans.
is a classic symptom of hypothermia. Like you basically
Yeah,
develop you basically go crazy.
no, you get
Essentially.
really really hot before you die. That's kind of the
Yeah,
thing.
so it would
Yeah.
explain why they took off her clothes. And her eyes and tongue missing, those are like really soft parts of the body. So some scavengers like birds and stuff might have gone for those areas first. You know what I mean?
Wasn't she lying like facing down though? So they'd
I
have
can't
to.
really remember that, but it would make sense if she was lying face down. Then that's kind of mad, but
I'm looking at it. I think she was face down.
that's crazy. Then I guess
Two of the bodies were missing the eye and one was missing the tongue and one was missing eyebrows. So
What?
I don't think any birds are gonna go after the eyebrows.
Yeah, that is
I
actually
think the thing is like you talk about the expedition, like so many places in the world where it's haunted, like supernatural beings seen it. But can you actually believe it until you go there yourself?
Yeah, do you guys
To
believe?
be honest, I really want to go to a haunted house or something really haunted. I really want to go there. I really want to see what's going on
Because
in
on
there.
social media,
But I
like
highly doubt it.
people portray like whatever you want to see. How do you know if it's real or
I
not?
think it's all in the mind, isn't it?
Yeah,
It's
you're
probably all in the
expecting
mind.
it.
Your mind's probably tricking you, yeah. But then all these things like caught on camera, like thinking, are these things
Exactly.
really real? And that's just
Exactly.
freaky.
If
A
I
lot of
did
them
go
have been
to,
disproven though.
Really
yeah,
haunted.
yeah, if I did go to a haunted house, I would just be there just to see if I can piss off anything.
Yeah,
I'd just be laughing
play with the
about.
ghosts.
All of you are none of you could touch me, fam. None of you could touch me. And then if I got touched, then I'd know. Yeah, that's kind of mad. But
Oh, I was
Yeah,
stuck there.
if you die, then you know how it happened.
yeah, if I get like some mad scratch across my arm, fair enough. That's unexplainable. Then cool. But if then, oh, I heard a whisper. Oh, there's a cold air. Where's the cold air coming? Nah, that's stupid. That's stupid.
You know, it's just a fan off
You
camera
you
just
must be on
playing.
LSD then. You must be on LSD. You're just saying some stuff. You're tripping.
Yeah.
Wait,
Would you guys?
do you guys?
No, no, go.
Yeah, Ibrahim, you're a Muslim, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you believe in jinn?
Yeah.
Jinn, yeah, but we don't have them like the way that's pictured in
Yeah.
movies and stuff.
Yeah, jinn are like basically beings made of
Yeah.
smokeless fire that are
Yeah.
invisible to the human eye.
Right, yeah.
So like some people think, oh, like they could be like blipping into our reality in it, and sometimes
No,
like,
they
we
they
see them
are
as
in our
ghosts.
reality, but they don't mess with us. Basically, that's
Yeah, no, yeah, but they're imperceivable to us, right? Like we can't see them whatsoever.
Mm-hmm.
So is it
Yeah.
possible that if jinn do exist, they sort of like can blip into our perception, and we see them as like ghosts and stuff?
I mean, I'd probably not, but
Yeah.
maybe
I don't know. I don't know.
if you were to see a ghost, what do you think they would look like? Do you think they'd look like the way they're pictured on television, like white and stuff, What do you think
The
they'd
way they
look?
portray it,
What
I
was
don't
that,
know.
Solomon?
I think the way they portray it on the media is different to how you actually see it. It's just like
Yeah, the whole
it's just
white like blanket ghost is a really old thing now. Now it's all about shadow people.
Yeah.
Stereotype, really.
Yeah,
You
now
know,
it's all about shadow
like
people.
aliens are green, like ghosts are white, and things like that.
Yeah, yeah.
A lot of people have different reasons why they exist as well.
I did see those are stories in it because I've got 2 stories for supernatural things that we're later going to talk about, of course. But
All right.
yeah. I was
Yeah,
going to
but
explain it right now, but it's kind of mad for me because I don't believe in anything supernatural, right?
uh-huh.
Because I'm
Because
a yeah.
the thing is, there's a few reasons why people think ghosts exist. Like number one of the things they think is that the ghost doesn't know it's dead. So like it's walking along, it died, and then it just keeps walking, and it has no idea, and then it continues to live, and it's like, oh shit, why is no one responding to me, or why can no one see me? The other reason is it died from like murder or something, and it wants to be avenged. That's another reason people think. So there'll be like those are the kinds of stories that the ghost is like telling its story
Mm.
through like creepy ways. Like if it drowned, it would have like wet footprints appearing out of nowhere. Those kinds of stories.
I like how we've transitioned to the supernatural, which is way more fun
have
than
you
fear, in my opinion.
have
So
Yeah, it's so
have you
scary.
watched
Yeah.
have you watched The Woman in Black? That's specifically about supernatural.
with
How
Daniel
this boy,
Radcliffe,
yeah,
yeah,
that's
yeah.
that's about supernatural.
Actually, you know the Woman in Black, right? Me, my mum and my brother, we went to go see it at the theater, that
The
live.
same.
Ooh.
Yeah,
To
it
see
was
as well.
that was so mad though. The way they did it for the theater was actually really
Yeah.
good. I thought so.
Yeah. I
So
like. Do you guys like ghost stories? Is that like something you like to? Because you know it's BS, but do you like listening to them?
no,
Dude, yeah, just like
sometimes
listening to it, but at the same time, I think they're like so stupid. Like, do they actually exist? I really want to see them. It's one of those things
yeah,
like,
but
oh, I really want to see it to believe it.
yeah, of course, yeah. But sometimes the stories are kind of like, wow, how is that? How do you explain that? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I think
It's so,
stories nowadays are like one just trying to one up the other one, just trying to get more than. Like you tell the story that's even more ridiculous just to one up the next one.
yeah. There's this famous picture that was taken, right, about the you know the Amityville house, right?
Hmm.
It's a famous house where the guy just went crazy and just murdered his whole family, right?
Oh yeah.
Um, there were some investigators there that took a photo, and they were basically all alone and they were taking photos of the upper house.
Uh-huh.
And they took a picture, and it basically showed like a little boy in the corner, but it wasn't
Ooh.
like a misty sort of looks like a boy. It was like an actual boy, like the face of an actual boy. There was no
Ooh.
way like I could have explained. It was an actual like person. It wasn't like, oh, if you look at it this way, it could look like a face, but no, it was an actual boy. Like the eyes were showing, the haircut, everything. It was so crazy. In fact,
Ooh.
if I can, I wonder if I can show you the picture. Here, I'll show you the picture. Here, look. If I screened it, if I screened,
Maybe put it in the video as well, just so that they can see it.
yeah, let's put. I'll screen it now actually and show you. If you got, can you guys see it?
Hang on, let me just take a look. Oh yeah, I see that.
Oh my
Yeah, you
god.
see that?
Ooh. Yeah.
That's an
Yeah,
actual.
Oh yeah,
That's an actual
yeah.
boy, right?
I've seen that. Yeah.
Yeah. So like,
Ooh.
I had no way to explain unless the investigators themselves were dodgy and just tried faking it.
Oh my god, that looks like some zombie, man.
It looks like
literally,
that boy next to it, by the way, that little boy. He died.
it's the
He was
same.
like the son.
Oh my god,
Ooh.
that looks
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
like a zombie, man.
That's
Creepy.
terrifying.
yeah. I was terrified by it as well, but
I'm sure the audience could see that right now.
yeah, we'll put in a picture later and editing, of course. But it was.
Speaking of, actually, no. First of all, Sony, you want to tell those stories?
Oh, you want to tell stories now?
No, do you want to tell the stories that you had
Yeah. But
about
I'm
the ghost
wondering.
thing?
I'm wondering if anyone else has any stories though.
Nope.
Nope.
You don't have
Anyone
any?
else got stories?
Nope.
No supernatural stories
Fire.
whatsoever.
No,
Fire
Our,
away.
our
not
lives are
really.
boring as fuck.
I've
Probably that's
I
just
have
our
two.
imagination.
I have two. Basically, the first time when I was really young, I was about 5 or 6, I had this toy that was basically like a stage, and it had all these animals on it that would play a different instrument. So there was like a bear that played the cymbals, and there's like a dolphin that had like a guitar or something crazy like that, right?
Mm.
And you had to put batteries in it for it to play, of course, right?
Yeah.
But I took the batteries out at one point, and I left the toy next to my bed. And in the middle of the night, while I sleep, of course, you know how you just wake up in the middle of the night for no reason.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
happened.
I have that
Yeah.
every time.
Yeah, I woke up and I saw the thing going off, the lights and everything, and the animals were playing with the machine, but there were no batteries in there whatsoever.
Oh damn.
So I was a bit shook. But obviously, there's obviously probably an actual explanation for it, but it was a bit weird because, like, where's it getting the power from? You know?
There's just a baby ghost just wants to play with the stuffed toys.
Yeah. Do you guys have any
Uh,
explanations for that, by the way?
I
I
have
do
no idea.
physics, but I don't know. I don't know what to say.
Leftover
no,
power.
I gotta Google this one. I gotta Google
Solomon,
this.
do you have any explanation for it?
no, I actually don't. Like, it's just, I mean, it's weird, isn't it?
Yeah. Do you
I
guys
think,
believe me, by the way? Like, you believe me, right? Or
I
do I
have
have
no
to,
Yeah,
reason for you to lie about it.
because it
yeah, I
generally sounds
believe
like
you.
you're telling the truth, but it's one of those things like kind of have trouble believing. But
Yeah,
why would you want to lie?
but
Why would you want to lie about that? I don't understand.
I don't know, to get
I
that
do
attention,
believe
innit?
Yeah, why not?
I actually tried asking my mum, like, what do you think happened? And she, like, said the same thing that Ibrahim just said, which is that there was probably residual, like, energy in there from batteries before, and it just.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but
But I'm
that
like,
doesn't make any sense.
yeah, it
Like,
doesn't make any sense because where's the power being contained? Then you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Yeah,
And they designed it purely so that you keep batteries in their product and keep it forever. That's
exactly.
what they designed it for.
But then, and then my second story was actually really recently.
Oh god.
I was so I live in a flat, right?
Huh.
And the way the house is situated is that when you come in, on the left there's the living room, and on the immediate right there's my mum's bedroom. When you go far right, then it gets to my bedroom, right? And when I came home one day, I went into my bedroom and I sat on the chair, the one that I'm sitting on right now, and my door was slightly open, and it led straight to basically into the corridor, which also led to the living room on the opposite side, and that door was also open on the other side. So we're all following, right? Is everyone
yeah,
following
Yep, yep.
yeah,
about the layout?
yeah.
Uh-huh.
So I was sitting on my chair watching videos, still in my school uniform, by the way, watching videos on my phone. And I swear, I'm not joking, right? I heard someone in the living room walking around. And immediately at first I thought, right, it's obviously someone out in the corridor in the main part of the flat, right? That's not in the house.
Uh-huh.
But then I realized that when I went to, but obviously I was so shook because it was coming from the living room. I know because I was listening to it. It was like a minute. I was listening to it. I was making sure that it doesn't sound whatsoever like it was coming from outside. It's coming from the living room. And I heard them sit on the sofa. But yeah, I actually heard the sofa, like, you know the noise that a sofa makes when
The
you sit on it?
creak.
Yeah. But obviously the sofa was literally just outside my view because the door was only creaked open. So eventually I decided to just get up and go over there. So I went over. First, I went to the front door and checked in the peephole to make sure no one was out there, because that would explain it,
Yeah.
right? But no one was there. And then I went to the living room, and obviously no one was there as well. So basically,
I
the
just went to
noise.
see what
Maybe,
video you were watching.
Yeah.
I think your
And
flat's
then
haunted.
the same thing happened the next day. But instead
right.
of it being like a normal walking sort of just a normal person walking, sitting down, I heard them eating something,
Damn.
like crunching on something.
It's the ghost of the previous owner.
Yeah, but I
That is
heard a
messed
dog
up.
collar as well, like a
Yo,
dog running about.
Oh my
are you sure
god.
you want to
And
say
so I
that
went
you
into the room and I checked, and there obviously no one there. But I was so confused. I was basically telling my mum that I swear you won't believe me, and you'll probably think, "Oh yeah, it was just someone outside." But I swear there was someone in this room. I swear.
Personally,
Maybe
I
Ghost
think
dog.
you're taking too many LSD pills, man. I can't
Yeah.
believe demons.
I don't think it was supernatural personally, because obviously I don't believe in like that stuff. But I swear it sounded like someone was in the room. At least it sounded like it. You know what I
Maybe
mean?
your imagination. You know.
Yeah, I thought that. I was like,
Yeah,
I was going over it in my
LSD.
head. I was going over it in my head. Is it imagination? But it lasted for like a few minutes, like just there, and I'm looking up because I'm so sure. You know when you hear something that scares you, and you immediately just freeze, and you're just like, you don't make any noise whatsoever.
Yeah.
That is
It's
basically
terrible.
what I was doing, and I was just listening to it, and I swear, man. But yeah, basically that was the story. Those are the two stories.
Damn. I think I remember one story as a kid. I always had to like I was afraid of the dark because whenever I was in the dark, I would always hear creaking from nowhere, and it was only during the dark. So whenever I had to go like anywhere, I would turn the light on like if I had to go upstairs to my room, I would turn the light on upstairs, run down, and then turn the light off downstairs, and then run back up because I couldn't be in the dark. Obviously, I could go over that. I think it was after I played Slenderman. I played Slenderman, and I could never. That game shook me as a kid. I don't even know why. It was just so scary. Speaking of
think everyone
supernatural, do you
right?
guys believe in curses? 'Cause I have an interesting story
No.
on that. It's not my story, but it's a story in general.
I
Do you
really,
believe in
Curse
curses?
really
what do you
don't.
mean as in like someone do
No,
something
it's
bad
a
to someone?
You know,
it's
like
about
Yeah.
Nazar. Nazar. For anyone who doesn't know what
that's
Nazar
it.
is,
Another
in India it means evil eye, like giving
Yeah,
someone the
evil
evil
eye.
eye. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it is.
You think it
Another I think it is.
exists?
You think curses?
Yeah,
Seriously? Oh
yeah.
man, you guys, honestly.
No, I don't believe that. I don't think through the power of jealousy you can give whoever
Yeah,
you're
but you
being
believe
jealous
in
to.
jinn though, so you can't really like. Oh, I believe in one supernatural element, but I don't believe in the other. Like, come on.
I don't know,
Right.
honestly. That's a bit of a thing for a different bonus
Yeah,
episode.
but basically, technically, if I said I genuinely believe that Santa Claus exists, but I don't believe that a jinn exists, you can't technically criticize me because there's an equal amount of evidence for Santa Claus as there are for jinns.
I mean, Santa Claus isn't considered a spirit, is he?
Yeah, that is a Christmas spirit, isn't it? It goes around giving.
He's not a spirit. He's a person.
But how do you know that?
It
You're
doesn't
watching,
make sense for a
you're
person to
watching
do
too many
that. It
films,
doesn't
man.
make
Watching
sense.
too many films.
Exactly, so it can't be a person, can it?
It
Watching too many
just doesn't
films, man.
exist. He was never considered a ghost.
But how do you know that though? There's loads of like old writings about Saint Nicholas, and there's loads of legends and laws about it. So technically, I reserve my right to believe in Santa Claus.
Have
And
you had a fiction?
there's an equal likelihood of that existing, just as there is of jinn.
Yeah, no, I believe in the Easter Bunny. Same
Yeah,
logic.
a giant anthropomorphic like hair that goes around hiding eggs for some reason. But you know, fair enough.
What do eggs have to do with Easter anyway? Well, bunnies don't lay eggs, do they?
Easter is basically the rebirth of Jesus, isn't it?
Jesus,
The eggs
that's
But why
represent the
bunnies?
rebirth.
You'd think it'd be Easter chicken or something.
No, why Santa
There
Claus
are
for
chicks in
Christmas?
Not to eat, not eating, but like as the mascot. Like you don't think bunnies? Do bunnies even lay eggs? Great. Now I have to think about
Mate,
bunnies
No,
reproducing.
mammals don't lay eggs.
Mammals don't lay eggs.
eggs.
But you're doing biology, Ibrahim. Come
Yeah,
on.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, no, we're looking at bunnies laying eggs. That's
That's
what we're looking at in
biology.
biology. In biology, we're doing boring stuff like plants. It's ridiculous.
Oh bloody
I
hell!
thought you were gonna
Oh,
do biochemistry.
what is it? The
What's that?
phylum, the phylum
Phylum,
vessel,
I can't
the
even. Nothing's coming to mind. It's just empty. My
phylum,
head is empty.
the phloem tissue. Oh, all that's dead. All that.
It's so dumb. I don't know why I have to learn about plants. But should I tell the curse story?
Yeah, go ahead.
Go on
So
then.
have you guys heard of King Tut's curse? How do you say it? King
Yeah.
Tut.
King
Oh yeah,
Tut. King Tut.
I've heard of that.
King Tut.
So- King Tut. Yeah, Tut.
Yeah, Tutankhamun.
Toot
Yeah,
and go.
I've,
Yeah, that's why I
I've
said
heard
toot.
of that.
Yeah,
So basically, I'm gonna call him King T. Man like King T.
sounds like a rapper's name.
Yeah, that's what I was going. That's my new rapper's name. So yeah, King T.
you're
What happened to young IBS? Yeah, young IBS.
Yeah, young IBS.
Yeah, yeah, that's
Come on, young
Young
IBS.
I don't even have a
his
T
name
in
as
my
that.
name. I don't even have a T in my name, so I don't know how to do that.
My rapper name is Biscuit Man.
What do you rap about? Do you rap about snack time?
No, I rap about McVitie's, Ginger Nut. You know, there's those are my albums, isn't it?
Free advertising.
Classic British. My bestseller is the Custard Cream.
That just sounds
Perfect
weird.
one.
That's a great one, mate. That's a
It's
great
My
one.
bestseller is the crusted.
Crusted
Oh, you
cream.
guys quite. Anyways,
Go
bro,
ahead.
carry on.
Okay, so basically they excavated this like tomb, right? And basically as soon as they did that, there was like a bit of warm air that came out of the tomb, and people thought, oh, nothing of it. But a lot of people thought it was the curse seeping out of the excavation site. So what happened is the guy who financed the excavation, his name was George Herbert, and he died because of a mosquito bite, right? And you think, oh, he just died. And the archaeologist that discovered the tomb literally died afterwards. He didn't even die, but his house burnt, and then his house burnt down, and then when he was trying to rebuild it, it got hit with a flood. So two people who were immediately into that, right? And then the guy who was visiting it, some guy called George J. Good, he was visiting it, and then he immediately died. He got immediately sick, right, as soon as he visited it, and then died. And there's a lot of these. Some people who knew and they died mysteriously. But there was a really interesting case that of the actual King Tutan's, like, what do you call it? The grave,
The tomb.
the tomb, right? The tomb actual box, right? And it was on a very famous thing. Can anyone does anyone know what it is or where it was? It was
Egypt?
on the Titanic, apparently.
What?
Apparently King Tutankhamun's like tomb was being held on the Titanic when it sank.
Seriously.
How?
Apparently.
I thought it was just discovered there though. It was excavated there, so wouldn't that mean it's been discovered there?
No, it was excavated, and then it was like carried there just to be delivered. So, and then the Titanic sank. So, but there's you could look at this. There's like so many cases of people just falling ill or their house burning down or something, and they're all related to that curse in some way.
Oh.
And it's really bizarre.
Alright guys, Sarah Raj unfortunately had to leave now, but we've got someone else who's eager to discuss fear and the supernatural with us. It's Kyra.
Oh yeah, from the first
She's,
episode.
yeah, it's the Hey Girl.
Yeah, the one who only said hey in the last one.
I love that.
The first one.
The dedication to the Hey.
The dedication to the hay.
That's your
Have you
rapper
already
name. Hey Girl. Yeah, that's a mad one. That's a mad one.
It's perfect. Have you got any we're talking about supernatural stuff, Kara. Have you got any
Yeah.
like scary stories or anything?
Scary stories. Yeah. Basically, so this was like a year ago, and I went to go stay at one of my friend's house because it was her birthday, and there was three of us together. So her parents, they went out, but it was only like 7 o'clock, so it wasn't late, but it was still a bit dark. And then we all went upstairs
Hello?
to go like watch a movie, and then we hear like something downstairs, so we all go downstairs to see what it is. And there's nothing there, so we lock all the doors and we like shut all the lights off, and then we go back upstairs to watch the movie. And then the movie's like halfway through, and we hear this glass smash, and we get really freaked out because
Uh-huh.
everywhere on the floor, because one of her glass plates has fallen, and it was literally all over the floor. So we didn't know what to do. We called her parents, but her parents wouldn't answer. So we didn't know what to do. So we locked ourselves in her room with knives
What?
because in
Nice.
case like I don't know someone was down there.
Damn.
What? So you just what? You heard a glass plate?
Yeah, there was glass on the floor.
Yeah, but isn't that explainable? It's just a glass plate falling.
No, because we was the only ones here like at her house, and we didn't know what it was.
You didn't know what? Oh.
Damn. That's weird.
Oh,
Yeah.
guys.
Did anything come of it, or was it just like nothing?
No, it was just the glass. There was just glass on the floor out of nowhere, and
Yeah, but it
No one
probably
was
just
home.
fell, innit?
no, it didn't because it's on the table, like literally on the table.
Well,
Yeah,
on
but
the edge.
do you remember it
No,
being
not
like?
on the edge.
Do you remember it being like properly on the table?
Yeah,
Nah, I don't believe you, fam.
I
I'm
believe
joking, I'm
you.
joking, I'm joking. I believe you. I believe you. But a lot regarding Ibrahim's story about King Tut and Tutankhamun, right? Oh,
Mhm.
another guy in, by the way, Lakshman,
Oh,
who,
no, he keeps joining and leaving, and I'd appreciate if
yeah,
you didn't do that.
yeah, wow. But
Very passive aggressive.
regarding King Tutankhamun's story about how all the people involved in the excavation mysteriously died, I think there's a thin line between correlation and causation. Of course, I think we all know that, right? Basically, just because something is correlated doesn't mean it's the cause of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but the problem is, what are the odds of that many people related to it getting that much
Yeah,
misfortune in a
but
row?
think about that as Ibrahim, right? Imagine if I said, yeah, global warming has increased over the years, right?
Right?
Okay, but you know what's also decreased?
What has?
Pirates. The number of pirates has decreased.
Are
Therefore, we can logically assume that pirates and global warming are
wait,
correlated.
what?
What?
That's essentially what you're doing.
Yeah, but
You,
the thing
you
is,
found,
pirates
you
aren't in
found.
charge of global warming.
Well, how do you know that?
What does that even mean?
How do you know that? That's what I'm saying. It sounds
Yeah, no,
ridiculous.
the pirates have a scheme to
Yeah,
ruin the world.
I know. It sounds ridiculous, but technically, mathematically, I'm correct. The number of pirates has dropped over the years, and global warming's increased. What you're essentially saying is, the people who are related to the King Tut thing died. Therefore, King Tut must be the cause of it. How do you know it was King? How do you know it wasn't that
It's not just that they were related; it's the fact that so many of them perished
you only
over,
mentioned
and that they were all related to that sole thing.
two things though, two people that died.
No, there's 10. There's like way more, but obviously for the sake of time, I only mentioned a few.
Nah, I don't believe that.
You can
I
Google
think,
it. You can Google it. There's plenty of people who met their misfortune and they were related to it.
yeah, but I think it's just if nothing had happened, basically, if the smallest thing happened, people would say it's the curse. Basically, anything surrounding it would automatically
Yeah,
become the curse in people's minds, and I don't think that it's fair to operate like that.
it's just based on what you believe or not.
Mm.
We've reached our mark, by the way, our time.
Oh yeah, finally, gosh.
We reached that a while ago. I just didn't bring it up because we were talking.
Yeah.
Is that fear was actually quite a topic though. We didn't have that much for it. Do you guys want to hear one of the questions I had just to end this off? It's not related to fear though.
Yeah, go on.
We were already talking about details, but the question is, what terrible experiments would you conduct if ethics weren't an issue?
What does that mean?
But if what you're curious about, anything, but ethics aren't an issue and you have infinite funds, what would you do? I'll start because I already know what I'd do. I'd get 100 people and I'd shipwreck them on an island, and I'd see what they'd do, and I'd make sure they can they'd get food and stuff. And the other thing I'd do is I'd see if I can make Tarzan 2 and get like children only to be raised by animals and see how that works.
Yeah, but that's
Like
already happened.
no
isn't it?
outside interference apart from like food.
Yeah, but that's already happened, hasn't it?
Well,
Feral
getting animals
children.
raised by children raised by animals.
Yeah, feral children. They act like animals.
Yeah, but like it's those are like there's like obviously with those things it's like some I don't even have to answer that honestly.
You don't exactly.
Oh yeah, were they really raised by animals? Like they weren't really raised by them.
Yeah,
right?
in
They
their
just kinda,
formative years, right?
they were just like not like they were isolated, so they just took up what they would naturally what naturally came to them. So like they weren't taught how to speak, so they just like talk. They wouldn't talk, or they just make noises, stuff like that. But I'm talking like just getting the animals to somehow fight. I don't know I'd make it work, but just purely the animals
Yeah, but then
with
the
the
animals
kid
could
and see if
attack
they would
them.
raise it or not. So it's more of an experiment on the animals rather than the kid, because it's like would the animals take care of a little
dogs-
human kid?
It's basically, it's like Tarzan.
Yeah,
Some dogs
that's
do
why I
that.
said Tarzan too.
Some dogs do that though. Some dogs have been known to like raise children.
Has there been like proper experiments on that though?
No experiments. It's just
Yeah, because
children
of
running
ethics.
away.
So-
Children running away and basically living with dogs, and they become like the dog. Like they run on all fours and everything.
You have to be a pretty shit parent to allow that to happen, though.
No. They don't allow it to happen. Obviously, they're just dead parents overall, and the kid just runs away and just that's the
Becomes a
circumstances they're
dog.
in there. They act like dogs. It's actually really hard to help them learn language and stuff because somehow their mindset has changed so completely that they can't like comprehend being a human anymore. It's kind of
But
terrible.
there's so many stories that some people that actually they actually in their dogs. They sit in cages. What they do, what dogs do.
That's
Like
sad,
humans.
man.
Do you think monkeys would raise humans, like human babies,
Yeah,
or
they're
like
smart.
apes, or
Monkeys
gorillas?
are smart. Monkeys are smart.
Like we're
Yeah,
common ancestors, so you think they'd
yeah, of
raise
course. They're basically us, just dumber and stronger.
more hair?
Yeah. Well, I'd argue that when you're Asian, there's not really much,
Yeah, no.
But,
If we complain about hair in uncomfortable places, but they've got it the worst.
yeah, they have.
They've got it the
Uh,
worst.
I think the experiment I would conduct would probably be I would get twins, right?
Oh,
And obviously Nazi vibes immediately, but no, hear me
yeah.
out first. I would get twins, and I would place one twin with a purposefully horrible family.
Ooh.
All right, purposefully like a horrible family, and another twin with like really affluent, wealthy, well-off family, and eventually join them back together again when they've grown up properly, and see if it's truly nurture that is the driving force or nature, how they are.
Oh yeah.
That would
Think
finally answer the long
nature
question
versus
of
nurture.
exactly, and it's almost certainly nature. Nurture is just a bullshit thing. So
I've seen plenty of things where like obviously when parents split and they take one twin each, and then the twins have like scary similarities between them, even though they've never seen each other and they live in different areas. So I mean, it is plausible that nurture plays some kind of a role, but I mean, realistically, it's not completely likely.
what experiment would you do, Kyra?
Infinite money, no restrictions.
I don't even know. I would put a human underwater, make him live there, or see how long they survive.
Live there.
Yeah, I can guarantee it'd be about 3 minutes.
No, but no. I mean, like when I say put them in water, I mean like in an ocean, but like they only live at an ocean. So there's a little bit of land, but not a lot to live on. You know what I mean?
Oh, so is there like so they're not underwater? They're just on like an island by themselves.
Yeah, but it's like a really small island.
It's your survival island.
Yeah, but so you and Ibs could team up and basically just do
Yeah.
your own little
See, the thing
TV
with,
show.
for me is I want to see how they would build society, or if it would crumble, or if you got a small minority, it doesn't matter. Some people would be rich, some people would be poor. It doesn't matter on the island. Lord of the Flies too, basically.
Now,
And-
eventually, they would be rich people. It'd be like the person who owns
Yeah.
the most coconuts
I want
or
to see,
something.
I want to
don't
see,
know.
because the way human races usually worked is, oh, I have the most food. Let's all build a society around this food. But because I own it, I get the bigger house, and it just develops from there. Stuff like that. So I'd want to see how quickly it would devolve, or if there'd be wars, or if different sides, or if there'd be racism or anything else like that. And it wouldn't be very ethical. But who cares about
Almost
ethics?
certainly there would be like some sort of tribalism, right?
Yeah,
That's what Lord of the Flies teaches us, fellas.
Lord of the Flies. Yeah. Interestingly,
Uh,
Lord of the Flies is like the rich people started it, like the choir, more posh side of
Yeah.
that. So I'd want to see if that is what actually happens.
Solomon, what would you do?
I'll get like two different species of animals and put them in a cage together. I just want to see how they'll react because they're two different species.
The crossbreed and create a monster? No, I'm joking.
One would eat the other, probably. That's what I'm thinking.
Well, what kind of two animals though? Like a goat and
I don't
a
know.
rabbit or something?
I don't know.
I feel like they just ignore each other.
Yeah,
They'd
I
run
feel
away
like
from each other.
as long as the other doesn't attack one of them, then they're just chilly around each other, innit?
Yeah, I don't think the rabbit would be able to do much anyway if the goat was like. Good thing they're both
I mean,
herbivores.
I've come up with an idea. We guys should
What?
do veganism at some point.
Oh, Sarah Braj.
We have
He's
to
gone
do
now,
vegan.
but he would be.
Sarah Braj will be on that like crazy.
Remember his hot take? He was like, all people, everyone has rights, including animals.
That's not a hot
That's
take.
something.
Of course,
No.
animals have rights.
As in, like the right to live, rather.
Nah.
So like you can't eat them and stuff. It's like, I don't remember his exact wording, but he was like, "Oh, everyone has rights, including animals, so we shouldn't kill chickens and stuff." That was his like
That's
hot
quite,
take.
that's quite,
Yeah,
that's
but
quite a big topic.
yeah, but
Yeah, that's for another time. That's
is
for
there
another time.
rights only for humans or just like? Because
You know another thing I would try.
Yeah, go on.
I'd get 2 serial killers, or 2 like really insane people, and 2 normal people, and I'd make them do like group activities, and I'd see like what like one activity, like groups of 2, one serial, one normal, and I do like 2 types of activities. One's a violent activity and one's like a normal activity, and I'd see what would happen. Like when a normal person and a crazy person go into the violent activity, does the normal person also go and do the violent thing, or and the other way around, obviously as well. But I'm curious to see what would happen there. And obviously it's like
Basically
in an
given a
asylum,
choice.
no
I feel like
exterior, like
a
they
lot of
won't
the
be able to see
experiments,
anyone or anything.
a lot of these experiments that you guys are talking about have been done already.
I feel like it would have, but like in the current modern time, it wouldn't have been able. Like it wouldn't have happened. Like I'm pretty sure no normal sane person would even agree to do something like that. But
I
if they
love
do
how
agree, then they're not normal.
we've steered so far away from fear. It's actually crazy. I told you guys, fear isn't a brilliant subject to talk about. There
Fear is
isn't
not.
much
Yeah,
on
no.
fear.
I wanted aliens, but
Well, watch next episode is going to be a banger.
next
though. What?
episode, stay tuned. I think we got a good amount in this one, at least.
Yeah,
It's what everyone wanted in our
It's
group.
like
So
ghosts now. Might as well make it about ghosts.
yeah, fear goes supernatural. You know what? If we weren't doing aliens, I would have brought that up today as well, because obviously there's a fear of aliens in there as well. But if you want, we can end it here. I mean, we've gone way past.
Yeah,
I kind of lost track of time.
Yeah, so have I.
It's just so fun to do this.
Where's Junaid? He's going.
Junaid had to
Yeah.
go. So
Yeah.
yeah, so the 2 people who aren't here anymore, Sabraj and Junaid, I want to thank them obviously. I want to thank Sona. He's the one who talked about the Indian protests and all that stuff.
Hello.
A good guy. Suleiman, obviously I didn't forget him this time.
Yes.
Yeah, our recorder man Anil, and obviously myself, Ibrahim. I always forget to announce. I didn't even announce myself at the beginning of this one again.
And
And Kyra, who's joined us afterwards.
nice. Forget someone else instead, innit?
I wasn't even look. Everyone's so impatient. Like I've got a list here. I'm getting through the list, and people are
Right,
like,
right. Of course.
everyone is so impatient. I'm going to be honest. If you didn't say "and," I would have forgotten.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, man.
Guys, do a vote yet. Do you want me to become the new host?
Absolutely
Yeah,
not.
I'll
I'll
take
kick you
over.
from the show.
I'll take over Ibrahim, you know. He knows it'd be a
It's
revolution.
my charisma that people want. My charisma.
Where is that charisma?
It's there
I never
somewhere.
see
Don't worry
it.
about it. It's coming. Anyway, Sarah Brod's got a lovely tune for everyone today. So I'll leave him in his hands. He's not here anymore, but he's got the tune. All right, roll it. Take it away, Salad.